Yes, I hurt myself. I took a tumble on the sidewalk while walking the dogs, and I have a big slice on my thumb where the leash scraped across everything. The heel of my hand got all messed up. My elbow. Yes, I have big bruises on my knees. But I also have some drawings to share, and I'm going to talk about different papers. That one was on Yupo. Canson XL is what I generally recommend, but I will be using some Arches cold press today for this particular piece, and I'll go through it in 6 little steps. We'll talk for just a moment about the International Child Art Foundation and some fundraising that we're going to be doing coming up that you can get involved in right now if you want. And we're going to talk about the winner of the giveaway of the markers that I'll be talking about today. Will it be you? I want to start off with this quick word about ICAF. I'll have more on it later, but it's an organization that we fundraise for every summer. And my students help by taking classes, because a portion of classes goes to that. And ICAF just announced in their recent newsletter that they lost their National Endowment for the Arts grant to focus on funding for projects prioritized by the president. And I guess kids making art is not important. Personally, I would like my tax dollars to go to helping people make art, but okay, that means it's up to us. And the swag for World Watercolor Month is in the World Watercolor Month store. This is my painting for the year that I have given for the cause, and you can get this mug. There's a smaller mug. This is the bigger one. And then also they have 2 sizes of zipper pouches. So this is the smaller of the 2, and it fits markers perfectly. So yeehaw for that. And I put the supplies in it that I'm going to be using for this project. First, some MultiInk blending liquid. We'll talk about how that works. And then I got an eraser because I needed it. I drew my pencil lines a little too dark on my paper. And then 2 brushes, and number 8 and a number 4, and a bunch of colors. There are 60 colors total in the set, and these are brush pens. They have a small-ish brush and no other end on it, so it's just a one-ended marker. And while I typically recommend Canson XL watercolor paper for most people who want to have the easiest time with water-based markers, I'm going to be using some Arches cold press. And I'll be talking about why, because there's all kinds of differences between these papers. Now, Yupo is a synthetic paper. It's plastic. And if you think about taking a marker to plastic, no matter what kind of marker it is, even if it's a Sharpie pen, you're going to get some little weird things on the surface. And while this looks great from a distance, and it's in my shop if you need a parrot for your wall, it has some issues with the marker strokes. You can see them all. This paper does not blend. So if you have a subject that needs blending, that's not great. But the kind of mushy look of the marker strokes was perfect for that beak. That was astounding how beautiful it was. So that's good. You know, I at least picked a subject that could handle that paper. But typically that's going to be very difficult to use. But the drawing that I'm going to be working on today, you might recognize from a poll that I had put out when we had a free drawing class. We were talking about blocking things in, and this was one of the choices that didn't get chosen. So I thought I would use that for this particular piece. And what I did was take out the background because I have a bum hand. And I didn't want to be trying to figure out how to fill in all of that. I was originally going to try doing some water because that was the most requested subject in my last video when I asked you what I should do next. So yeah, not going to do that. So here I'm working on the pelican eye. When I zoomed way in on it, there was kind of some green reflections in the eye itself. And then around the eye, there was a kind of pinkish, kind of peachy sort of color. And apparently that is something that happens with young brown pelicans. I looked up a lot about pelicans because I was trying to figure out what the deal was with the body parts and the coloration, because there are so many colors if you just look up brown pelican. And it's because they change for every season. When they're young, they look one way. When they're old, they look one way. And then when they're just in the normal non-breeding season, they look different than during breeding season. So They change a lot. And I guess they just change I don't know, do they throw out their feathers? I didn't look that up. Do they just drop their feathers and then they get new ones? I don't really know. But anyway, having some pink around the eye is sometimes a sign that it's a juvenile. So that sort of thing. Then there's the facial skin or eye ring. I tried to find out what the name is for this area around the eye. And I found 2 words for it, facial skin or eye ring. And it doesn't really look like an eye ring to me necessarily, but it can change color depending on the season and the bird's breeding condition. Meaning, is she up for having babies or not? And if she ain't up for having babies, she doesn't change her color of this. I don't know. I guess that's the way the birds roll. I started by just using water on it and trying to mush it around, and some of the color moved, but not enough. So I put a little of the blending liquid in a dish and then dipped my brush in it, and it melted it out quite nicely. Now, this happens more easily on Canson XL. Everything on watercolor paper, when you've got a mark that's been made by a pen, is going to kind of hang on to the paper a little bit stronger, I suppose. Canson XL is a little slipperier of a surface. And for those who especially are not using it for super fine art stuff, then it might be a little bit easier to deal with the Canson XL watercolor paper rather than this. But I wanted this to be something that I could sell, so I put it onto the Arches paper because the colors of these markers are light fast, as well as now the paper is archival, which Canson XL is not. So I get those benefits by doing the art on this. And I also get the benefit of getting some watercolor type edges in places, and you'll see some of that coming up. So the beak and the gular pouch. I've never heard of it called a gular pouch, but I found that out, so now you know too. And I started, again, trying to use water on these marks that I made on the paper, and they wouldn't move, so I just used a little blending solution. Now, I learned another term that you might be interested in. There's like a little nubby, like a little growth almost on the top of the beak that you can see in the photo. This one is just like the beginning of one, or maybe it's leftover of last year's. But these pelicans grow a nuptial tubercle during breeding season, just like big honking things that grow off their noses, off their beaks. And some of them are hilarious. If you just Google nuptial tubercle, it is kind of dinosaurish. Anyway, the other part that I'm working on right now, that blue part, is the gular pouch. And right now it's all kind of folded up, but if they catch fish, then it kind of expands and becomes this huge bucket that they catch fish in. The little portion back here, I could not find a name for this little section. I was trying to identify it because I wanted to find out, does that change color too? I have no idea, because I couldn't find anybody online who explained what that patch is, but it looked like it was kind of brown and then had some black in the interior of it. So I put the brown on second so I could blend some of the edges. Step number 4 is to do some soft head feathers. And this is where having Canson watercolor paper wouldn't be as good as having this cold press paper, because I want to just have something washy on this end to contrast with all of the kind of dense marker work that I've got in the rest of it. So I put a bunch of water on the top of the head here, and then I wanted to add a couple of colors to it. And I wanted them to be really soft. I wanted this to feel more artsy than trying for hyper-realism or anything. I saw a bit of purple in there, so I used a very pale purple. You can kind of see some shapes in the head. If you remember from our blocking in, that might be one of the smaller shapes you subdivide this bird into. I'm going to link the blocking in video in the description of this video. And then when you watch that one, go to the description of that video and it will take you to the zoom, which is part 2. So for this one, I'm just adding a couple of colors in a few spots to try to define some of those rounded shapes in the head. And I just wanted really soft color. So water first and then water after, just so I can get those very soft edges and it gives me something really gentle in comparison with all the texture and everything of the marker work in other parts of the drawing. I Googled what is the mohawk on the back of the head of a brown pelican, and AI yelled at me and said, while some people try to call it a mohawk, it is a crest. Thank you for the slap down. It was a very testy answer, but nonetheless, this is the crest feathers. And while they are white, I was not going to put the background in. So I painted them a very pale version of the colors that were already in the head, and was able to do that using water and marker strokes, and did all that after the head was dry so that I could kind of be in control of how much that bled into anything else. Next up is the contour and flight feathers. That's kind of, quote unquote, the rest of the body. So here's some stuff I found out. When these birds fledge at 10 to 12 weeks, once they've grown their flight feathers, the chicks are already adult size. So the babies grow super freaking fast. So that's why you don't think you ever see a baby pelican, but they can be identified because of their brown and white feathers instead of black and white feathers that the parents have. Now that is all pretty cool, but I also was Googling for just general photos because I was trying to see what else was going on with this bird. I was looking for general photos of brown pelicans, and they are all completely different. There are some that don't even have this big white spot on the belly that this guy has. Like their whole body is the same kind of feathers that you see me drawing in here. I don't really know, but they're all brown pelicans, and they're all extremely different, and they're extremely different in different seasons. And yeah, I don't know enough about brown pelicans to answer any of those questions. But if you know any ornithologists, please have them come watch this video and answer my questions and tell me where I'm wrong, because I'm just getting this from the internet. So I try for double checking my facts as best I can. I never listen to the ones that just say it's AI generated. I try to look for a couple of websites that are more reputable than just Google's AI, because they are wrong so often. Anyway, I'm using some black marker, and I'll switch at one point to gray marker and also switch to some brown marker to indicate these feathers. I put some color underneath of them so that the kind of white that you see there is not white, but there's like little white marks-ish in that section, and I want them to be a color. Now, I thought I put enough color in here in the first place to be able to, make it look right, to have some color in there, because that's in shadow. But it turns out I had to add more color at the end, because that was not enough by the time I got this much marker down. And that happens with artwork. Everything is in relation to everything else, which I talk about a lot. And when you get this much contrast, even the color that I had already put on the neck and the belly, which might have seemed really prominent at first, is actually not prominent now. So it seems to get lighter, but it's only getting lighter because it's in comparison to what's already there. But the great thing about these markers is I can go right over top of them. I mean, just boom, over top of this once it's dry, and I'm not dragging any of that black around. I can just change the color that's in between it and add more of the blue and the purple and the brown to try to add some interest in that area, so it's not just like big old marks. Because it just felt like there was way too much contrast because this is in shadow, and all of those supposed little white things, which I'm guessing maybe they're like a light gray. Not sure what color they are in reality, but filling all that in and then darkening these feathers on this backside of the bird. So then we peel the tape off. So this is the finished 6-step pelican. Everybody can do that, right? It's just 6 steps. The Arches cold press paper is what gave me some of the softness on the head in comparison with all of the detail elsewhere. On Canson XL, you're going to end up getting some kind of blossoms and blooms in a washy area like that on Canson XL. It just does not do it in the same way that Arches does, simply because of the texture of the paper. This paper is going to give you all these strange marks on Yupo. You're just going to end up without any bleeding. You can't do much bleeding. You'd have to have colors for every area that you want, since you can't use water on it particularly easily. So, this worked because it didn't have any really pale colors, but it does do some interesting things if your subject matter is correct for this paper. So test it out if you've got some Yupo and you want to see how that works. And you can try other mediums on it as well. But just remember, it's plastic paper. Both Birdos are in my shop, available for purchase as part of my ICAF fundraiser. Yes, I'm starting early since we need more fundraising this year. The World Watercolor Month shop is open, and you might want to get your stuff from there, your mugs and your zipper pouches, before July, because stuff sells out. Typically during World Watercolor Month, my classes in July generate income for ICAF. And this year, from today forward, because I'm going to start early since we need to raise extra money and prove to these kids that they matter to us, even if they don't matter to the president. So let's do it. Let's do a good job of that. So my fine art sale is on as well. Links in the doobly-doo to all that. I'm going to be doing some events online, some events in person, and I'm going to host a swap. So stay tuned. Next week, I'll talk more about all of that. But for now, you can do some shopping with the links in the doobly-doo. And you might be wondering, who won the giveaway? Okay, dum-dum-dum-dum. I wish I had a drum roll soundtrack. Congratulations, Multi-Passionate Creator. Congratulations to you. Send me an email and let me know what your address is so I can send that to Staedtler and they can send your prize. I know you wanted Ocean Life. A lot of you did. But with my bum hand, I was not willing to face having to do a whole background. I just wanted to do something simpler, so I chose just the bird that could have a white background. Anyway, go do some art. Go create something every day. Just get busy. And go support ICAF through the fundraisers. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.